How's it going, guys? The Springboks have quite possibly one of the deepest pools of talent in world rugby. We probably have more of a pool than the entire URC put together. Now, taking consideration of that and the Springboks' current depth, one of the weakest positions, in my opinion, is lock. We do have some serious talent, but in terms of that 4th, 5th, and 6th choice, in the event that some of our elite players were to get injured, I do find us lacking. And if we want to be a top tier side like we are, and we want to stay consistent from now and 10 years in the future, we need to have some serious talent in our pool. So looking at this, I want to take into this video I want to make in the event that Eben Etzebeth, Lood, Jager, Ruan, Nortjé, and someone like Orie Snyman end up getting injured. Who do we honestly have to move the nation forward? Who do we have for not only the next World Cup but the World Cup after? So there are a couple names in the list, but a vast majority of our locks are currently in their 30s or getting close to it. So that means that this 2027 World Cup will probably be their last, if not their second last, that they could potentially have at the highest level. So I would love to hear what your thoughts are in relation to this. And do you guys think I am wrong in thinking that the Springboks lock depth is one of our weakest positions in the squad? So let's break it down. Now, we do have Eben Etzebeth, which is around 34 years old. He's getting injured more consistently. He's spending longer time out. He's taking longer to recover. And he is not the Eben of 2, 3, 4 years ago. Now, although he was one of the contenders for World Player of the Year, that's just a testament to how much of a monster he truly is. But there's only so much that he can take and only so much his body can take. So at the age that he's at, he might just make the next World Cup, but we're not going to see much after that, and he's going to become more of a back-end role. Ruan Nortjé, he's currently 26 years old, so he's still got quite a few years ahead of him, and he's playing top-tier rugby. So we do still have quite a while for him. We have the likes of Lood, Jager, who's already 32 years old. We have the likes of Orie Snyman, who is around 30, I think he's like 29, 30 years old. So he's still got a good few years in him. Now, the nice thing about the position that they're in, they are able to get into their mid-30s and still play top-tier rugby. So for the likes of Lood, Jager, we'll still have a good couple of years of him. Orie Snyman, we'll still have a good couple of years for him. Franco Mostert, pretty much the same. I think he's around 33, 34 years old. So he is getting to that back end of his career. But how much of a talent pool do we actually genuinely have that we can honestly say we have someone that can move us forward? Now, honestly, I cannot currently see another enforcer like Eben Etzebeth that has emerged or is kind of coming through. There are a few players that are still developing, but do we have someone that can honestly fill Eben Etzebeth's boots? Personally, I don't think so. We are still waiting for that monster that, who he can take the game on his back, control everything, and still get under people's skins, create enough of a nuisance of himself whilst being a top level lock. So I don't think we have anyone that can honestly touch him right now, but we'll see over the next couple of years and who develops. But in terms of obviously our short term, we do have the likes of Jean Klein, Marvin, Orie, obviously Nortjé, Orie Snyman. In terms of the more medium term, we have someone like Ludwig, we have Nico Janse van Rensburg, who I'm a big fan of, but I think he's late 20s, early 30s as well. We do have the likes of Van Heerden as well, but then we do have some players that that can really start breaking through, like Dylan DeLeo, like Jared Taylor, like JD Schickerling, like Andre Hugo Venter. So we do still have some talent, but are they at the levels that we require them to be at to maintain that strength, that depth? I don't think we are there yet. Rassie, obviously, he is a mastermind. He is a genius when it comes down to things like this. And I think it's only a matter of time before he fills in these gaps. he is going to start looking to, the local teams, and we are going to start seeing a lot of players develop. Just like we had Sasha Feinberg wasn't really spoken of, and as everybody's going as crazy about him. Obviously, he's always been a top prospect, but the performances that he's been putting in recently has taken him into a completely different stratosphere. So he is still very, very young. We could yet still see a player come from, club rugby, come from school rugby and just absolutely dominate. Honestly, that is something that I would love to see. But we do have a good amount of depth in our pool, but I don't think we are there yet. And I think the time between now and 2027, where we are going to end up seeing Rassie rotate a lot of players, we are going to see him making use of, a couple different combinations and, start bleeding in some new talent. Only time will tell whether we are actually genuinely able to fill in that lock position, which I do feel, although we do have a good amount of depth, it's not where I feel we need to be to really be there to the point where we can dominate on every single aspect of the game. Right, we've seen the likes of Fabian Holland, who came through with the All Blacks, who's been absolutely killing it, and he's a complete monster. But it just shows that talents like this can pop up out of nowhere and really just start to dominate the game. So this is something that I do feel the Springboks need. If we can get a Fabian Holland kind player, it will definitely go a very, very long way. But what Rassie loves to do recently is he loves to make use of that lock position and kind of fill them in all around the board. So we've seen players like Franco Mostert, he's playing in the back row. We've seen this quite a lot where he's moving players from lock position into back row, and sometimes it feels like we are playing 5 locks instead of 3 back rowers and 2 locks. Rassie is a genius. Never doubt Rassie, and in Rassie we trust. But looking at the current squad that we have, I would love to see better performances from a lot of players. But with 2027 coming up, I really, really do hope that we get to see new faces coming through in that lock position, new players getting time, have a couple of new Boks earn that green and gold. Now, I would love to hear what you guys have to say, and who have I missed off of this list? Because there's only so much I can go through, right? I looked at general prospects, but is there any truly shining lights that can really come through and make an absolute racket and potentially vie for that lock position? And is there another player that can emulate what Eben Etzebeth has done for our country, and a potential replacement, even if it's a long-term replacement, for Eben Etzebeth? So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.